Hey everybody, welcome back to Faraday Research. If you haven't become a member, don't forget to subscribe in the bottom right hand corner. And also, if you haven't become a patron of my site, you can do so below. All the links are the description below. And yeah, so tonight I've been working on the Don Smith generator. I've done some research with some other guys out there that have had some success with their system and found out some key stuff that seemed to be helping me out and where I was going wrong. So let's start with the first thing I had a problem with. So the front end, before the discharge or the spark gap, you have to have enough capacitance, and this is where I'm kind of lacking big time. So I got to get a better bank of high voltage capacitors for the front end. So from the high voltage generator, it goes right to that capacitor bank. From the capacitor bank, then it goes to the spark gap. You have to have enough power in this. It's very, very important. I'm finding out more and more how important it actually is. If you don't have enough capacitance, what happens is the light will flicker a lot and it won't be consistent. So it's because it's falling behind. It's not able to store enough power and distribute that power to the load, and it craps out. So you're not getting a steady flow of energy. So what I did tonight was I made a new coil. It's very crude. It's not in resonance whatsoever. I just put everything together and hopefully it worked. Well, it did. So I'll kind of go over the coil here. So what we have is the primary coil, okay? I literally used a piece of copper wire, wrapped it around about 3 or 4 times. So if you want to know the circuit, you go high voltage generator, then you go through the capacitors. Now these capacitors are in parallel, so you got positive, negative to ground. And then from there, the positive goes through there, goes in through the spark gap, comes out the spark gap, and then goes to the green wire, which goes to one end of the copper wire at the bottom there. Out the bottom, comes out and basically goes to earth ground. So that's the primary circuit. All right. Now, the red wire is the secondary, which goes the full length of the coil. One end of it, the bottom end, actually has to go to earth ground. I'm finding with the system, a lot of connections go to earth ground. Without it, you really just don't get the power out. So, now that I got that earth ground for the red wire, now the top wire is basically just open. I just kind of left it there in the tube. Actually, don't connect it. It's just basically air. So I decided to do the Don Smith method of having 10 turns of 18 gauge wire clockwise, and then another 10 counterclockwise, attached center tapped in the middle, and the bottom wire is the negative, which goes to the light down here. The green wire goes to the top of the other side. Now the center tap, I decided to make that ground. I also made it ground down here and swapped them. So you could do either or, it works, but I seem to get better results having the center tap as the grounding point. I could be wrong, but it seems to work. And that's it. That's basically it. So there's different coil configurations you can do, but still it's the primary circuit that you got to get correct. So right now, outstanding, I have to get a way bigger capacitor bank at the beginning of the system. That's where I'm really, really lacking. So I could add a couple more of these guys, but I'm kind of worried that they're going to start arcing between each other and become a Marx generator. So I don't really want to do that. I might toy around with a different configuration to try to get maybe 5 or 6 of these guys all in line. These are 15 kVA. I think they're 20,000 picofarad, something like that, in that range. And that's it. So what I'll do is I'll turn it on. I got the voltage set right now at 5.5 volts. All right. So I'll turn it on. Spark gap's very quiet now. You can barely hear it. You can see it, but you can barely hear it. I don't know how it's going to turn out on the audio, but anyways, I got the light fully lit, and as you can see, very minimal load. 5.5 volts at 0.54, 53. It's kind of going around. It's bouncing around. But you can see now it's starting to flicker. That is because I don't have enough capacitance at the front. This is what's causing this. So if I have a steady flow of power going through that disruptive discharge, I won't get this fluttering. So that's the problem there. That's the basically the problem I have to solve. I got to get more capacitance there. As soon as I get that solved, this thing will be rock solid and it will be bright. So yeah, I got it. Even though that this coil is basically slapped together, it does work. So yeah, as you can see, the amperage is still, half amp, 0.6 amps, 5.5 volts. So that's about almost 6,000 volts going through the spark gap. I zapped myself a couple of times tonight. Didn't feel good, but yeah, you got to respect this stuff because you will get a lifter. And thank God I don't have a lot of capacitance behind it right now, because if I did, I wouldn't be in good shape right now. So yeah, it's coming together slowly. I'm starting to understand stuff a little better than I did. Like I said, I'm no electrical engineer. I don't claim I am. I'm just a dude trying to make things work, and finally I'm figuring it out. And my job is to share it with you guys. So yeah, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget, bottom right hand corner, subscribe. And also in the description, if you haven't become a patron, it helps support me. That'd be greatly appreciated. And I got new stuff coming up in the near future that you're going to find actually quite cool. And I'd like to share that with you guys. So yeah, comments below, and we'll see everybody soon.